Hello and welcome to the Underpaid Gamers Podcast. My name is Tony. I'm with my friend and colleague Justin.
Hello!
Today, a few days ago, I came across an article that is blaming sequels for the downfall of revenue from theaters and Hollywood in general in the summertime. So we're going to go over that. I've made a list of sequels, and I've made another list, which you could call a sequel, of new IP.
There we go.
So that's what we're going to talk about. Yep. Some news before that. But before all of this...
The theme song.
The theme song. The Underpaid Gamers Podcast is the official podcast of underpaidgamers.com.
Crushing it.
You can find us on Twitter at UP
Gamers Podcast.
I don't know.
UP Gamers Podcast.
At UP Gamers Podcast.
Our YouTube channel is Underpaid Gamers. Look for the sticky note emblem that we have. Yellow with our faces on it.
It looks like a sticky note, as he said.
Yes.
SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Podcast Services, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram.
All of it.
Email.
underpaidgamerspodcast at gmail.com.
Gmail.
Not plural mails.
I think it's everything.
Why are we struggling right now?
We haven't done this in a while.
It's been like a week.
It's been like a week and a day.
That's true. There's an extra day there.
Longer than normal.
Maybe that's it. So, what do we got for news this week, Tony?
Destiny 2.
Yay! I'm so excited for Destiny 2. I don't know why. It's just spontaneously combusting in my being that I'm excited for Destiny 2.
Well, May 18th, there's going to be a gameplay demo. A gameplay reveal, not a demo. You can't play it. You can just watch people play it. May 18th, somewhere on the internet.
That's this week.
Probably Bungie's channel or Twitch somewhere. Probably on Twitch. So look for that May 18th from this day. That'll be Tuesday.
Yeah, it's this week.
Wednesday.
4 days from now. Today's the 14th.
Maybe one of those days.
We're recording the 14th.
Well.
Right now.
I'm a little concerned for this fall.
Talk to me.
I don't think I'm going to have enough time to play all the games I want to play.
Dude, I know. Can you tell me about that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel right now about the games I have.
So, Destiny, if it's any similar to Destiny 1, is a big time sink.
Yes.
And it's not really something that you can stop and go on. It's kind of something that you need to grind out.
Yeah, it's very grindy.
Which
for all the
I thought was fun, but now that I'm an adult and I have more responsibilities and things, more of an adult than I was back then.
Right.
And I can't stay up till 4 a.m. anymore to do this stuff.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to be worth it to do all that.
Sure.
Whereas the biggest competitor in my mind, direct competitor for Destiny, would be Call of Duty, the new one. Yeah. Call of Duty World War II.
Sure.
WW2, as they say.
WW.
And I think, in general, I liked Call of Duty more than Destiny. I think I might have had more fun with Destiny because it's more of a social game. And right. Call of Duty is more of a, I can just play this by myself. And sometimes playing games by yourself is more fun. I don't know. I have a lot of high hopes for this Call of Duty, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's not going to be that good. Like it'll be classic Call of Duty gameplay, I'm sure, and gunplay and things like that. But they're going to add this. They're going to add this stupid stuff to it. The drop boxes, the loot boxes, all the
frustrating things about modern Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's still going to be there. I mean, they're not going to have jetpacks and stuff, so maybe the fact that I just won't have a jetpack and things will counteract the fact that this person might have a better gun than me, or quote-unquote better gun than me.
Sure.
I don't know. But the thing I like about Call of Duty is I don't need to grind as much.
That's true.
To get the things I want to get, whereas Destiny, there's so much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know Destiny comes out earlier. I would assume Destiny comes out in September, as per usual. And Call of Duty comes out in November, so that's 2 months where I can play Destiny. I assume you have to get to max level, then you can do a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, probably.
So maybe it'll just be a thing where you get Destiny, get to max level, and then decide whether I want to get the next DLC or not. You know what I mean? Because we got to max level in 20, you and me and our group of friends.
Yeah.
And then we started doing raids.
And that was super fun.
Glass, and that was the most fun.
Yeah.
And getting to level 20 wasn't so difficult. It really didn't take that long.
No, it was alright. It took like a week, less than that.
Yeah. And I have always said that I wanted to get Destiny for the multiplayer because I thought it was going to be Halo next. I thought it was going to be like Halo, and I think Halo might have the best multiplayer of any first-person shooter.
You think so?
Of all time.
Of all time?
I really love the grenades in Halo.
That's some pretty heavy...
Every time I watch Halo, I think this is the peak. This is the best. Halo 3, Halo 2.
Halo 2 is my favorite of all the Halos.
Yeah.
For multiplayer.
So I'm thinking, that's it. That's the best. And that's why I wanted to play Destiny so much, because it was made by Bungie. And some of the grenades physics work. The Hunter's standard grenade works very similar to the frag grenades in Halo. And that's what I like most about Halo, is the frag grenades and the DMR,
like bouncing
the
them
scout
off
rifle
walls
or
and stuff.
Yeah. So that was my favorite. And you got the rocket launchers and stuff. So I'm really concerned, because those are the two games that stick out primarily in my mind for time commitment. I know there's going to be Red Dead Redemption 2, but I don't consider that
the same genre or the same market. You're not like competing that against
the same mind market.
Yeah,
I would say, because like I don't know. I haven't decided. Because I mean, if Red Dead Redemption 2 has online like GTA 5 does, which you'd assume it would, that also will take up a lot of time. Because I played GTA 5 online for a lot. I mean, the game came out, and I think I beat the campaign before the online features were released, because they really dragged their feet on that one. But
for a long time.
Yes.
That took forever. So
that's my major concern, is Destiny versus Call of Duty on my mind market, on my time.
Right.
Like how much I'm going to spend.
Right. Well, when I think about it, first off, I think of Destiny 1 came out, at least in my life, in a really, like, I don't know if hard time is the right time, just like a time of transition in my life, where I had just graduated college, and I just moved to a new area, and was working, and I only had a few friends in the area. And so Destiny was perfect, because you were on it, a bunch of our other college friends were on it, my brother and his group of friends were on it. So we had a huge group of friends who could get on it. And so every day after school, I would do whatever chores I needed to get done, and then I would, like, play Destiny.
Yeah.
And that was, like, such a great time, because I didn't, like, it was hard for me to find, or, like, all my friends, like, I hadn't developed my new friendships yet in the area. And so it's just, like, it was perfectly timed. I don't know if I'm going to have that much time this fall. I mean, I might. I don't know. And that's the thing, too. It's like with Red Dead Redemption, with what else is coming out? I know Final Fantasy 12 HD Remaster is coming out this summer, and I'm super excited for it. And I know you probably don't care as much, but
Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 is coming out. Red Dead. Well, I already said Red Dead. Call of Duty, and isn't there another RPG coming out?
I'm sure there is. I can't think of it though.
I can't remember. I feel like there was something else I was looking forward to this fall.
There's a lot of games coming out. I just can't remember them all right now.
And it's like, to me, it boils down to the question: which game are you going to miss out most by not buying it first? Because like Red Dead, for instance, while it's going to be probably one of our favorite games on the PS4,
yeah.
What do you lose? And if there's multiplayer, you do lose. But if it is single player like the last one, what do you lose by waiting? Why don't you wait until all the DLC's out and get the Game of the Year edition?
Man, you're talking about waiting like a year.
Yeah, I did that with Fallout 3, and I really liked it, actually. Because it was $60 and I was poor, and I couldn't afford it. And then the Game of the Year edition came out, got it for $30, got all the DLC for it. Then I started loving Fallout. It was my first Fallout.
Can you wait that long? I don't
know.
Are you not excited enough for Red Dead to not pick it up like day one? I don't know. We haven't seen much.
I mean, it's just speculation. I know. I'm super excited for it, but to me, it's like Uncharted. I love Uncharted. I love all those games, but I waited so long to play that game because I had other games that are multiplayer based that you kind of miss out if you don't play them, as opposed to Uncharted, where the story's going to stay the same regardless if you play it now or you play it in a year from now.
That's true, but you also didn't know how much you liked Uncharted until you picked it up much, much later. Do you think if you would have picked up Uncharted when they released for the PS3s, you would have gotten Uncharted 4 like the day it came out, or Uncharted 3 when it came out and played it then?
I mean, I guess it depends. I think we all have those franchises.
Because, I mean, you bought the collection for the PS4, and that's when you first played Uncharted 1.
And they were great. They're fun.
Yeah. So you got them all at once.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess, to ask again, to hear your answer again, do you think you would have, if you played them chronologically when they first released, would you have waited with the same mindset, or would you have been like, I've got to get it?
I don't know. Probably not. But maybe, I don't know, because, I don't know, when I think of, because you're
going to buy The Last of Us Part 2 right when it comes out.
Yeah, it's true.
Like
they're similar. They're basically the same thing. Just
played that game over any other game that was up against it, wouldn't you?
Probably.
There's no other game that would take time away from The Last of Us Part 2.
Unless all my friends were like, you have to play Overwatch with me right now. I'd be like, okay, fine. And then I would be like,
even then,
I would cut out like an hour early and be like, I'm going to play Uncharted now.
Last of Us.
Last of Us. So I don't know. I think we all have those franchises that we feel that way about. That like trump everything else. Like Final Fantasy for me, while the last few games have not been the most stellar, 15 being better than 13 in my opinion.
And you never played 12.
And I never played 12 past the first 5 minutes.
And you never played 11 because it was mostly online.
No, I played 11. We had 11 for 2 months.
Did you play a lot of 11?
I played for 2 months.
Oh, okay.
2 months of subscription. Played almost every day after school. And then I played 14 for a month.
Oh, I forgot about 14. That's also online?
It's also online. I played that one for a month online. I played Final Fantasies 1 and 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 minutes of 12.
What happened to 4 and
5? Those are the ones that I just never got to because I didn't get into the series till 7, and then those were on like Game Boy Advanced. It was originally on like the Super Nintendo, and I didn't have those. And they remastered them for Game Boy, and I never got them. Though I've heard 4 and 5 are really good. So I might eventually get them if they ever come out on like PC or something, which sometimes they do. By the way, I think we all have those franchises.
What? So, Call of Duty or Destiny? Which one do you think would give you your time?
Definitely Destiny.
Yeah.
I am so burnt out of Call of Duty. Like, I don't know. I have Black Ops 3.
That was the last one you bought.
That's the last one I bought, and then who's that? I was like watching my friend stream Call of Duty.
Okay.
And I was like,
but which one was he streaming?
He was streaming Black Ops 3 actually.
Oh yeah.
Zombies.
Oh.
And there was like absolutely nothing I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched it because it was my friend and I talked to him a little bit in the chat. But then I was like, I hate this. I don't even want to play this anymore.
Is it because of zombies or just Call of Duty?
Well,
because I can understand not wanting to play zombies.
Zombies is fine. I'm not mad that they added that into like the normal cycle of Call of Duty. What I'm more tired of is just the formula of Call of Duty. Like I've played so many of them and they're all essentially the same thing. And I know you, and this is the difference between me and you, I think, when it comes to shooters, you really like the competitive nature of it, I think, and you like the single, like you were describing earlier, that it's like you play by yourself, it's a single player, like you run through it. Whereas Destiny was more like social. I love Destiny because all the PvE with your friends. Like I love that. That's like one of my favorite things.
That's the thing about Destiny 1. I played Destiny 1 so I could play multiplayer. And like I had to slosh through all the PvE so I could get good stuff for PvP. Mm-hmm. And then everything, all the balance stuff changes. It wasn't necessarily how I liked it. Yeah. When it first came out and it was like what I would consider the peak of it, when everyone was first figuring it out, I had a lot of fun. But after that, people started like using the blink shotguns and all this other stuff. I'm like, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. With Call of Duty, I would love to play with friends because it's that competitive nature where I always want to be the best.
Yeah, and then I get relegated to standing in the back and holding our spawn point in the back and shoot down UAVs. That's like all I do.
Does that?
You literally have had me do that before in Call of Duty. You and Tim run around killing everybody. Justin, just stay back and keep the spawn on this side so it doesn't flip. Sweet. Awesome. Go enjoy all your kills, guys. I'm going to stand here and shoot down things with my rocket launcher.
We can trade off if you want.
You never want to trade off, Tony, because you're too good. You're like, I'm just trying to win for the team.
I'm telling you right now, we can trade off every fifth game.
I'm more excited for Destiny 2. I am, and I don't want to say that I'm not excited for Call of Duty World War II. I think it's the most likely the one I'd buy in the next, compared to everything that has come out before this, since Call of Duty, probably Black Ops 1, I haven't been this excited for a Call of Duty game.
So, Black Ops 1.
Black Ops 1 was it was after World War.
Modern Warfare 3.
I did not play.
And then Black Ops 2.
I did play.
Ghosts.
I did play.
Advanced
Warfare. I did Advanced.
Black Ops 3.
I did play that one.
Infinite Warfare. Is that correct?
Yep.
Am I missing one?
I think you got them all.
Maybe I did.
So, I don't know. I think I'm more excited for this than the other Call of Duties, but I think if I have to decide at the same time between the two, I'd pick Destiny 2. Easy.
So, pick a single game that is coming out this fall, based on the ones we just said. Which one is your top pick for time commitment?
Probably Destiny 2.
See,
assuming, and this is my caveat, assuming we have enough friends who pick it up at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if I can't get that social part of it in there, then there's no point.
There's no point.
I'm just grinding with a bunch of randos
Agreed.
that I don't even know.
See, I think Destiny is coming out in a good spot if it comes out in September, which I'd assume it would. If not, it's going to have to compete against
all those releases,
everything else. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Destiny could beat Call of Duty in sales
in a 1v1.
Yeah, well, if they both came out the same week.
Yeah.
Destiny,
probably not. No,
Destiny could beat Battlefront 2, I think.
Yeah,
because Battlefront 1 didn't have the greatest of showings.
Mm-hmm.
But with Call of Duty going back to World War II, again, it depends on what we see. I know we're going to see gameplay and multiplayer footage of Call of Duty at E3.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll change everybody's mind. But I assume they're going to pick specific moments in the multiplayer that look really cool. Or maybe not. Maybe they're going to mess everything up.
They could.
But I think the best thing that Destiny has going for it is that it would be released in September.
Yeah, I think,
and people would have 2 months to get into it, and at that point they'll be like, okay.
They're committed, right? It's like, there it is. And then by Christmas it'd be a DLC or something.
Yeah. Either they'll be committed for 2 months, and they'll be like, okay, I'm in this. I'm going to do this instead of other things. Or maybe in my case, I'll be like, okay, I've done everything that there is. I'm going to switch now and not feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you have it.
So yeah, that all stemmed from Destiny 2 gameplay reveal, May 18th.
There you go.
David Schwimmer, known as Ross Geller from Friends, as well as other things.
I know Ross.
Confirmed on his Facebook that all the 6 original actors have signed on for one more season of Friends.
Are you serious?
Coming out in 2018.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He confirmed it in May, so I'm like, this is not an April Fool's joke.
You always got to check that.
So all 6: Monica, Phoebe, Ross, Chandler, Joey, Rachel. That's 5. I'm missing one. Monica, Phoebe, Rachel, Ross, Chandler. Oh, Ross. I didn't say Ross because he's the one speaking.
Yep.
Chandler, Joey, Ross. Gunther, the monkey.
Gunther, wasn't he the coffee shop guy?
He was the blonde coffee shop guy.
Yeah. Dang. I never finished Friends.
Really?
I got to like the last season and I just hated it.
What?
I got to the point where I was so mad.
At what?
Ross and Rachel.
The on again, off again?
Yeah, I hated it. I was like so tired of it. I don't know. I just got burnt out. It's weird.
My wife really likes it. She was telling me that she's upset that they're making another season because she thinks the final season ended so well. Because I guess like Monica and Chandler got married.
Oh, I saw that.
And they moved out to the country. Ross and Rachel were going to give it another try, but this time seriously. I don't know what Joey and Phoebe were doing. And like the final scene was like Chandler and Monica closing the apartment door.
Yeah.
And then that was like the last scene, I assume. So she's like, what? Why are they doing this again? This is going to be awful. It ended so perfectly. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here.
We'll see.
Everyone's going to be super old. I assume Chandler and Monica are going to have kids.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe they're going to test this as a spin-off.
Oh, no.
Because what's Matthew Perry been up to? Nothing. Courtney Cox Arquette. What's she up to? Nothing. She was on Seinfeld back.
I feel like Matt Perry is up to something.
I know.
He's in a show. I've seen him on TV before, in a commercial.
Joey's in a cop TV show.
Yeah, he's in a comedy.
Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Ross is doing some things. He was just in the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh yeah, he was the Kardashian.
So he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston doing stuff.
She's always doing
Hasn't
stuff.
aged a day.
She looks exactly the same.
And then Lisa Kudrow, do not know what's happened to her. Phoebe?
Yeah, I haven't seen her in forever.
I don't think I ever saw her after Friends. She's probably like a couple episodes of some other things, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So I wanted to mention that because I think that's pretty big news. Really big news. Friends coming back.
That is pretty big. Like that's one of these shows, you know.
I think
Seinfeld, Friends.
Yeah. Full House.
That was like that generation of sitcoms.
It is the same generation, Family Matters and all that, but would you consider Friends and Full House to be on the same level? Or is like Friends, I guess you never watched it because you
I think they were different age groups.
Oh, do you? I guess that might be true.
Or different, because Friends is a lot more about like relationships and
adult relationships
in New York City, and then Full House was like family. It was all about the family.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So it's just like slightly different.
I think a lot of people would consider Friends one of the best sitcoms of all time. I think it's up there in the echelon.
Yeah, I think if you ask
or maybe
people,
most popular.
For sure, it's up there.
Because I'm sure there's some people that like can't name all the characters from Full House, but you can name all the characters from Friends. I think Friends went on for more seasons anyway.
I think it did for sure. Had like 9, right? 8 or 9, 6, 7, 8, 9.
8, 7 or 8, I think. No one always makes me sad. What? No one ever gives Scrubs enough credit.
I know Scrubs is so good.
Scrubs is awesome.
I like Scrubs. There's so many shows I like. We did a good job in America.
Good work.
The Office. I guess that's BBC originally, but The Office,
like
Parks and Rec, How I Met Your Mother.
Oh no,
30
does not
Rock.
count.
I love 30 Rock.
30 Rock is funny. I would not put How I Met Your Mother in that.
I love How I Met Your Mother. I love that show.
That's a show that when it was on, everyone was all about it, but now that's ended, no one really talks about it that much anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if that says... to me, that says something, but I don't know if that says something to other people.
My fiance was watching it recently, so we've talked about it a lot recently.
There's... How I Met Your Mother uses the same laugh track a lot.
It does. The same one.
The exact same one.
Pretty much every time. Pretty close.
Yeah. I think How I Met Your Mother would be a lot better if it didn't have a laugh track. How I Met Your Mother, I would put on par with The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, people say they like The Big Bang Theory, but I've never been able to get into it.
I don't. I've watched all of How I Met Your Mother. I have not watched all of The Big Bang Theory. I don't really like The Big Bang Theory. And I think How I Met Your Mother is funny in small doses, but I don't think I would... Okay, if you're listing good sitcoms, fine, you can put How I Met Your Mother on there. But I would put it almost on the bottom of my list of American-based sitcoms.
Wow, that's pretty far down.
Of the best. If you're going to make like a top 25 list, I think it would be like number 25.
Wow. I don't know if I could list 25 sitcoms that I know for sure are American.
You just made a whole big list.
I had like 4.
Family Matters, Cheers, Friends,
it's true.
Seinfeld, Alf.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
30 Rock. The Office, Americanized.
The American Office.
Silicon Valley? Is that necessarily a sitcom because it's an hour-long episodes?
Because that's HBO.
Arrested Development is so funny.
There you go.
That's a classic.
There's another one.
Other things?
Yeah.
Maybe not one of our next episodes we'll just list.
We'll talk about sitcoms.
We've been talking about TV shows a lot recently.
We have been. I don't know.
So we should dedicate a whole episode to just TV shows.
Maybe it has to do with our main topic today and how Hollywood just sucks right now. And so we're all watching TV.
So they say.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
all right.
So we should do a whole episode on TV shows.
Maybe we should.
Next, your favorite quarterback is going to be featured on Madden 2018.
Don't even say it.
Tom Brady.
I hate Tom Brady.
Is going to be featured on Madden 2018 following his teammate Rob Gronkowski, which is the first time this has ever happened in Madden history. The last 20 years. They've never had 2 teammates back to back.
If it's not clear, everyone, I hate Tom Brady and the Patriots.
What do you think about him being on the cover of Madden?
I hate it. Any glory that he gets, I hate it.
I think it's deserved.
Shut up! I don't care about your reasonable opinions. Grumble, 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 grumble.
Can you,
No.
For our New England listeners that like Tom Brady, can you give...
do we have many New England listeners?
Sure we do.
I haven't looked at our numbers recently.
Can you calmly and eloquently explain why you dislike Tom Brady?
If I explain it, it reveals where I live and where you live, and we've not done that on the cast.
On the cast.
We're
in the United States, obviously.
We live in the United States. I will not grace them with an explanation. Just know that where I live, if you talk about Tom Brady on the open streets, feel free to get punched in the face.
I'm pretty sure that's most of the United States.
Seriously though,
From what I've experienced.
If you wear Tom Brady,
other than New England,
yeah,
from what I've experienced,
maybe I don't know. I haven't talked to many people from other states about it, but if you walk around downtown with a Tom Brady, you better believe people are going to make comments about you, like to your face. They're going to yell at you. They're going to make little snide comments. God, Tom Brady.
Those San Francisco.
Tom Brady.
So, you won't be buying Madden 2018?
No.
Is that different from any other Madden?
I will not buy any Madden, but especially not Madden 18.
So this was big news. I think some of the world blew up when they found this out because they don't think Tom Brady deserves it, I assume. As someone who...
Well, I'm guessing he's already been on it before.
He hasn't.
He hasn't?
No. Oh. I don't think they do repeats. They have the Madden curse that they say if you get featured on Madden, you're going to have a really bad season.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I watch sports. No. The only sport I watch is football. I don't follow it that closely. Mm-hmm. So I understand why people don't like Tom Brady. But I think he deserves it. I mean, if you're going to be featured, I think he does a pretty good job at throwing the ball.
I'm not listening to what you're saying.
Someone, Jason Schreier from Kotaku, I read his report on this. That's how I figured it out.
Yeah.
And his article was just the trailer for 2018 Madden, and it had Tom Brady and everything on it. And the whole rest of the article was just pictures of Tom Brady getting sacked repeatedly by other teams. He's like, this is what I think of this. So everyone hates Tom Brady.
Yep.
Well, that was a good discussion we had there.
I don't want to discuss it. I want to move on. Next up.
Guess what? Ubisoft and Hannah Montana have something in common.
What is it, Tony? What is it?
The main... I'm going to retract what I said because that was going to go to a dark place.
Okay.
Far Cry 5 is going to take place in Montana.
Nice. I thought you were going to go somewhere funny with that first one.
It was a little...
You got me excited.
It was a little more adult than I wanted.
Okay.
The main protagonist...
Yeah. Okay.
Is going to be in the state of Montana.
Okay. Yeah, let's...
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, Far Cry 5, Montana.
Some people... You said Far Cry. It sounded like StarCraft.
Nope.
Some people are conjecturing that this is going to be a direct competitor to Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Montana is a different kind of West than New Mexico and Mexico.
Oh, definitely.
Or Texas and Mexico, wherever... Arizona, I don't know. Wherever Red Dead takes place.
Very different topography.
I think this is more similar to like Far Cry 4 in the Himalayas because Montana is full of mountains.
Yeah, Glacier National Park is up in Montana.
Exactly. So this will be fun. I don't know. Far Cry 3 is a fantastic game. One of the best on the PS3, Xbox 360. Best games. Far Cry 4 was more of the same. They didn't change very much. Far Cry 5, I assume, is going to do the same thing and not change very much. And if that's the case, I'm not going to get it. I haven't beaten Far Cry 4. I haven't. When I had my stack of games that I need to beat, it was on there. Because I bought it and played a good amount, and I never beat it. Oh. Far Cry 3 was awesome.
I borrowed Far Cry 4 from someone at my school, one of the other faculty members, and I beat it. It was really good. But that was my first Far Cry experience.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
My first Far Cry experience was Far Cry 2. And that was very, very different from Far Cry 3 and 4. And I assume 5. Someone made an analysis video on YouTube. Yes, I forgot about Primal. Like a video essay on how the differences. And I think I've touched on it before. Far Cry 2 is more of a survival. Far Cry 3, 4, and 5 are all like arcade sandbox shooters. So like your guns would jam. And
it's so annoying.
Every once in like you'd run out of ammo.
Nobody wants it to be that realistic.
I thought it was fun. Because the enemy's guns would jam too.
Oh, they would?
So you're like in Africa, like in the desert or in the jungle.
Yeah.
And the humidity and the sand gets in your gun, so sometimes your stuff breaks. Which I thought was cool.
That's more realistic, but man.
Far Cry 3 obviously is not that. Everything works. I don't think I like the gunplay in the Far Cries as much as I would in like an open world. I think, which game do you think has the best gunplay? Because I would say probably Call of Duty.
I think Destiny 1 had really good gun mechanics. When you say gunplay, do you mean how it feels?
How it feels to shoot and stuff.
Yeah, I thought Destiny had the best. Definitely not Battlefield. I like Battlefield games a lot.
Oh, I hate
and I like sniping specifically in Battlefield a lot.
That's it.
But everything else, it's always like underneath Call of Duty and underneath Destiny. I thought Destiny had the best.
Call of Duty is really responsive. That's what is really good about Call of Duty. Their guns are very responsive. You can kind of control the recoil. Everything kind of feels the way it should. So I kind of stack everything up against the way the Call of Duty feels.
Sure.
Just because if they've done anything right, it's the way guns feel. And that, which doesn't take away from what you said about Destiny.
Sure.
I don't know. But I don't like the way the guns. I don't necessarily. That's something that I had to like deal with when I was playing Far Cry 3 and 4, and I just got too much in Far Cry 4. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So that's going to take place in Montana. The rumor says. So I think that could be fun. But again, I probably won't pick it up, especially if it comes out this fall. No way am I going to spend my money on that.
That's like when there's a gaming drought, you're going to pick it up for $20.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I could get on my PC because I'm still looking for games on my PC.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see.
You get used to playing shooters on a mouse and keyboard, which I know you're not used to yet.
That's true. I'm not.
That takes me back to my roots, man. When I played that way,
still
I really liked
scrub lord.
I feel like you can control it so much better with the mouse than with the thumb.
When you use your mouse, do you rest your forearm on the mouse pad or do you lift it up?
I rest it. I also turn my sensitivity up really high.
My what is that thing called? It's not DPS. Is it DPS? DPI?
I think it's a DPI.
Mine's up. I think as highest or there's 4 standards on my mouse, and I think it's on the 3rd one, like the 3rd fastest.
Gotcha.
If 4 is the fastest and 1 is the slowest, it is on number 3.
Gotcha.
I'm not very good at PC games.
It's okay.
I'm not that worried about it.
I mean, most PC games that I play, it's not about being good.
Yeah.
It's like simulation or real-time strategy. I just enjoy the process of turtling up and then blowing out my enemies. Blowing them up into small little pieces. Yep.
It's a good Italian accent you have there.
I've played
That's a great transition into Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, see what I did there? That was planned.
The best Assassin's Creed games take place in Italy.
That's right.
There was a leaked image of Assassin's Creed, people think. It shows an assassin, a cloaked assassin.
On a boat.
On a boat in like
a small little boat.
A small little harbor.
And isn't there like a windmill in the background?
That's it.
Is that what it was?
It was like a tower. It's like a small like 2-3 story tower that I assume you climb. Yeah. Like one of those, just a standard square brick towers that are that you see in all the Assassin's Creed.
Are people still excited for Assassin's Creed? I totally jumped off that bandwagon a while ago.
I don't know. They didn't come out with anything in 2016, obviously, except for the movie. So 2017 is when they're going to come back. You'd expect there to be a game this year. I don't know where would you want to see an Assassin's Creed? Do you want to see them try to tackle
China,
or do you want to see the U.S. again?
No.
U.S. during the Civil War?
I don't want the U.S. No.
No?
No.
Why not?
I mean, the Civil War would be fun. Actually, Civil War would be fun. Because there's a lot of stuff there going on. A lot of historical context you could be using.
You could be a black assassin.
That'd be sick. In the South.
A blassassin.
Or just an assassin.
I bet.
Tony, you racist, man? You racist, bro?
I don't know, because, like, no.
You don't know if you're racist or not? Wow.
To skip over your question, to go back to my train of thought.
Wow.
In Assassin's Creed 3, they made Connor half Native American, half English.
That's right.
As an attempt for him to be equal on both sides.
Like as Templar and Assassin?
No, just as like, so he doesn't...
Part of both worlds?
Yeah. So what would they do? I think just a black man born in the United States out of slavery would be fun. That's just a great storyline in general.
Have somebody from like Maine, like a black man from Maine, go down during the Civil War and fight.
I mean, what the Union? So like a slave from Maine?
No, Maine didn't have slaves.
That's why I'm confused. No, so I think it'd be fun.
Born into freedom, but then joins the assassins.
Oh, you think?
To free the South.
You like that more than a person born into slavery that escapes his bonds
and becomes an assassin
and goes back to fight for the freedom
of
others?
I like that one better. You're right.
That'd be so sick, wouldn't it? Because there's motivation on both sides. Equivalent motivation on both sides.
Sure.
That'd just be a lot of fun. Because I assume like maybe he was born into like the largest plantation in the South, like some Georgia plantation or South Carolina plantation, and this person has like he's in charge of all these other plantations. So you go through and you get rid of all the other ones.
I wonder if they were connected to like the Underground Railroad somehow.
Like you're freeing slaves or helping slaves escape.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they would have to make references like that all the time.
Fun.
I don't know. There's just so much. There's like a really rich historical context there
would you want it to take place right before the Civil War takes place or during the Civil War?
Ooh, it would be so cool if you were like, if it was right before the Civil War.
Like you were part of all this starting.
Right. Well, it's like, what's the guy's name again?
You're talking about where he took over that train station or whatever?
Yeah. Frederick Douglass, and I'm reading a book about it. And he did Bleeding Kansas too. He like murdered a bunch of people in Kansas.
There you go. Classic assassin.
I'm totally blanking on his name. I literally am reading a book about him right now.
Is it a white man or a black man?
It's a white man, but you could like be with him because he tried to start a slave rebellion. I don't have the book with me.
Is he the one that started the first one?
No, not Nat Turner, if that's what you're talking about.
Maybe. I haven't taken a Civil War history class.
I literally teach this, and I cannot remember his name off the top of my head.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
John Brown, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
John Brown.
That is the guy I'm talking about.
John Brown.
Yeah.
What if you help John Brown
start?
Like, and the end of the game is you take over Harper's Ferry.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what I was thinking. Harper's Ferry, because he goes down there, and that's where it all starts.
That'd be so cool.
Would you like that and not that take place during the Civil War? Like, would building up to the Civil War be enough of a game, or would it have to, like...
Well, that'd be a sequel. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I guess. But I think that could work, because there's a lot of, like, in the shadows stuff.
But also,
like,
it'd be really
behind
cool
the scenes.
If it was during the Civil War, too. Because then you could have, like, there's a major battle going on, and you have to, like, hide in the trees and, like, make your way through all the encampments and, like... Or, like, you could go assassinate the general or something.
That's kind of what they did in Assassin's Creed 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they can learn from their mistakes. It's not a lot of people like Assassin's Creed 3. I thought it was great.
I deleted my save file on accident after, like,
back.
25 hours, and I got so mad.
What are there other historical things that you would like to see? Like, not from the U.S., but, like, you said China. What part of China would you like?
Oh, I mean, there's just a lot of context that you could... A lot of time periods you could use. For instance,
because they've been getting more and more recent.
Mm-hmm.
So Civil War.
More recent. Wow. What if we did China had this. So it's revolution after it stopped being like the Chinese empire, like with the emperor and all that stuff. It transitioned into like a nationalist government that combined.
What years are we talking about? Do you know?
1930s, essentially. 1920s, 1930s in China, and then up through the 40s. So in World War II, China had two big political parties, the Communist Party and the Nationalist Party.
Okay.
And right when the first like modern government was made in China, it was controlled by the Nationalists, by Chiang Kai-shek. No, Sun Yat-sen was the first guy. And then he like was able to unify the Communists and the Nationalists under him. But then as soon as he died, there's a civil war between the Communists and the Nationalists for a long time. Then that got put on pause when the Japanese invaded during World War II. Both the Communists and Nationalists fought together against the Japanese, kicked them out eventually, then had a civil war again, and then Taiwan is where all the Nationalists went. The Nationalist government got set up in Taiwan, which is why there's still tension between Taiwan and China. And they see each other as just separate countries, but at the same time not.
So who would you play as? What kind of?
It would be so cool if you got to play some sort of character in all the Civil War stuff at the beginning, before the Japanese got in there, and then when the Japanese come too, like you get to have to unite with your worst enemy to like go fight the Japanese, and then all that stuff. I don't know which side you'd fight up for, but it looks super. It'd be so cool.
Looking up the timeline of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and it starts at like 7500 BC, and then ends. I'm not even at the end yet, but like this thing says, I guess spoilers for Syndicate if you haven't played it.
I have not played Syndicate.
Or anybody listening, that Adolf Hitler was killed by an assassin outside of his bunker, and they took the Apple of Eden from him. This is like all timelines.
That's in an Assassin's Creed game?
Like, you need to chill this. You need to take this out. I mean, it might just be something like... I didn't read through all this, obviously, because there's a lot. Mm-hmm. But I think it might just be something like, if you read through the data logs of a machine, it says that assassins were responsible for Tesla, for Adolf Hitler, for all this and all this. You probably don't actually play it. Mm-hmm. So I still don't know what time period takes place in Syndicate. But I know it was like the Industrial Revolution. So whenever that was in Europe. You know what time? Was that before or after the Civil War? Probably after.
It depends. The first mechanization happened in 1776. Well, okay. Some of the first factories were in 1770s, and Adam Smith wrote a book about it, which started the field of economics. And they had like cotton textile factories.
Well, you can drive a car or ride in a car in Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Okay, so that's not then yet.
So it's probably
1776 is when the United States was founded. So the same year that was founded, Adam Smith wrote the book that started economics, which is a lot of fun. So I guess it'd be more in the 1800s then. It'd be like 1880s.
I think Assassin's Creed Civil War, the one that we came up with, would be awesome.
I don't know. Dude, we've come up with so many good ideas that they should just listen to our podcast.
Star Wars,
pay us a bunch of money.
Assassin's Creed.
And then we'll do none of the work except for the idea, and we'll get paid a bunch of money for it.
Intellectual property. Trademarked.
Yeah. Except for using their characters.
Dang it. The characters that don't exist yet.
That's true. Well, I mean, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess.
All those characters existed. Either way, I think we wrote Assassin's Creed's next game.
Next big hit.
Yep. Civil War.
And it's on the coast, so you can have your boats. People love their boats in Assassin's Creed for some reason.
Yeah, you could make an ironclad and go destroy a fleet by yourself because no one could sink an ironclad. None of the wooden ships could.
I've avoided all water in Assassin's Creed.
Oh, you have? Do you not like Black Flag?
No.
I love Black Flag. It's so good.
Everyone loves it. I can't stand it.
It's my favorite.
It takes forever to get from anywhere to anywhere. I don't like the gun battles. I don't like the ship battles, which is...
I love the ship battles. It's so much fun to upgrade your ship. I like it a lot.
Let's talk about movies.
Yeah, we haven't talked about our main topic yet. We should probably get on that.
We're getting there.
What do we got?
So this article posted. I don't have it up anymore, but I have some notes.
Yep.
Not Blockbuster. Hollywood is expecting a decrease of 5 to 10% of earnings this summer of 2017.
It's true.
For movies, which is the lowest it'll be in a decade. This article is hinting that it might be sequels to blame.
Yeah.
For a decrease in revenue in general.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was for the summer months of May, June, July, and August, and one movie from before May, I listed the most popular sequels and the most popular, quote-unquote, popular new intellectual property, new IPs.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see which we think will generate more money, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
We can just talk about them.
Yeah. So the list is actually pretty... I just went through the list of upcoming movies, and I wrote down which ones I think are going to be popular. Mm-hmm. And the lists are equivalent in length. That was not intentional. That just happened. Mm-hmm. So that means that there's going to be equal amounts of both of them. Before going into this list, I would think just in general, sequels would garner more money, which is generally the case. People always think that sequels garner more money because you have the first movie, and people know what it is, so they're going to go see something that they're familiar with. Mm-hmm. This article is saying that these sequels aren't enough, and that there needs to be new movies out. Mm-hmm. So there's a few new IP movies that I think will be great, and some sequels that will obviously bring in money.
Yep.
But I don't know. So let's just go through it.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Let's just go through the list.
Because you read the article a little
bit. I did. He makes the argument that Hollywood's gotten very formulaic, meaning that they have a formula that they follow. They have committees write movies instead of like an individual tell a compelling story. Mm-hmm. They kind of break it into a formula to like make the most money, apparently. So what they're saying is that less compelling stories are being told. There's way less characterization, way less depth in plot, and now everything is just... I mean, the article literally says gimmicky, says based on special effects, explosions, like things that I've heard people complain about Hollywood since I was a child. People always complained about that, but it lays out a lot of those things. So I don't know. I would think that in most cases, if they decide to make a sequel, it's because they had a lot of success in the first one, or at least enough success in the first one, and so I would assume they would make at least an equivalent amount of money as they did before.
Some theaters sign on people for sequels and predict sequels before the first one even comes out.
That's true.
So, like, with Avatar,
well,
there's like 5 sequels coming out, and we haven't even had the second one yet. He's like, I'm working on the next 4 already. how about you get the second one out before you start doing stuff?
That's right. Well, like Cameron. Jen Erso and Rogue One, I mean, she was signed on for another one. But that didn't happen with the decisions that they made. So. Yeah. I mean, I think it's standard practice nowadays.
So a list of movies that I got. You want to go by these one at a time and give me your thoughts?
Sure.
I guess. You want to do the sequels or the new ones first?
I mean, I think everyone's heard of the sequels before.
So let's do the new ones?
So let's do the new ones first.
Okay, so you just read an article on this. King Arthur is a new one.
It flopped real bad.
Yeah, so
there's opening weekend.
There was a chance there, but really, how much of a chance is that? It's like, you saw trailers for that. Like, well, you were reading an article and watching the trailer, and I was just kind of sitting over here. I'm like, what is this movie even about?
Right, it's like some loosely based story about King Arthur. That's like not even close to the original idea behind it, and to me, it looked like it was trying to be a mixture of a Marvel movie and Lord of the Rings, with the war elephant specifically.
Oh yeah,
and just like the special effects in it, and he was like using a shield, and he like caught a shield and like bashed somebody with it, and I was like, okay, Captain America. And it's just like, I don't know, it looked almost like 300 too, and like the combat, like a lot of fantasy and like old-timey combat now reflects what 300 did, where it's kind of like slowed down with a little bit extra special effects added into it. And I don't know.
CGI abs.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
I know what you mean.
So King Arthur, the article I read made the argument that if Peter Jackson had directed it as opposed to the other guy, it would have done a lot better, because they're wanting to make this into a franchise.
Ugh. Blech.
There's
Jude Law
King
was in
Arthur
it. I don't remember who
has been overdone.
You think?
There's been so many movies about King Arthur.
Transformers 5 is about
King Arthur.
King Arthur.
Essentially.
The Last Knight is about King Arthur, but it takes place in, I don't know. This next one I have on both lists, because I'm not sure what you'll qualify it as, but Baywatch.
Yeah.
With The Rock and Zac Efron. Because there's obviously the Baywatch TV show, so this isn't necessarily
like a new idea.
This isn't the new idea. Mm-hmm. When was the last time we had a Baywatch movie?
It's been
so I guess this is kind of like a reboot. You could say this is a reboot, so maybe this does go into the sequel reboot section. Because it's not. I guess it's not new.
This is definitely not.
So do you want to move it up? You want to get rid of this one?
Yeah, put that one in the sequels list.
Wonder Woman for a new IP. Does that count? Or because you saw her in Batman v Superman, and because she's a superhero?
I mean,
Does that count as a reboot, I guess? Or
an adaptation of comics to film.
Yeah, but that's just a movie genre.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, King Arthur, like, is that a new movie? Don't really think so. It's a story that's been used a bunch of times. I don't know. I guess it's new.
I would put it in new.
It doesn't have any sequels.
We haven't seen this yet.
This specific story we've not seen. So
it's not Wonder 2 Woman.
That's true.
Wonder Woman's W squared.
2 Wonder Woman.
There you go. Next one, All Eyes on Me, that Tupac story. That's brand new. I've not seen that. No. Trailers. I'm sure you've seen trailers for it. As much as you go to the movies.
I may have then. You're right. I go to the movies all the time.
Yeah. So this one's brand new. This one I definitely think goes into this list. I don't know how well it's going to do. I think it looks pretty interesting.
Well, Straight Outta Compton did really well.
It did.
And so I would assume that there's a market for this. People want it.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, Straight Outta Compton did do really, really well. I don't remember who the director is of All Eyes on Me. I also don't think I could name a Tupac song. I'm sure if I heard one, I'd be like, oh, I know this is. But if you're like, Tony, name a Tupac song, I'd be like,
yeah, I can't do that.
Baby Driver, which I assume know nothing about.
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, you haven't seen the trailer or anything?
No. What is Baby Driver?
Baby Driver is Edgar Wright's new movie. It's an action movie. Jamie Foxx is in it. There's this other guy. The kid. It's just like a racing. It's like a heist movie where. Okay, so the main character's name is Baby. Or his nickname is Baby. That's why he's called Baby.
That sounds familiar, because I remember seeing somebody be called Baby on the screen, and I was like, that's so weird.
Well, I posted a trailer on Twitter. I said, never once have I been so surprised by a trailer than by this trailer. Because I thought it was really good. So he's like a kid, but he's the driver, and they like... It's Edgar Wright, so it's kind of like up close in your face and kind of violent. I think it's rated R. They rob a bank or something, and he's just the driver.
Oh, I have seen the thing for it.
What I really like about it is they use the car sound effects to make it sound like a roaring like panther or lion or something. Like when they rev the engine, it sounds like a roar. And they do that throughout the trailer. I'm like, this is sick. I want to see this. So I'm excited for that. That's also a new IP that goes on the list. Spider-Man: Homecoming, we should probably take off of the new IP list and put it onto, because while Tom Holland is new,
Spider-Man's been in Civil War.
Well, I mean, just
and so is Iron Man.
Even with
this is all Marvel movies.
Well, even just like we've had 5 Spider-Man movies before this recently, so I guess because my first thought was this is new, we haven't seen this, but who really knows that other than people that are like on the beat
on the board who decides this stuff.
So your most excited movie, Dunkirk.
I'm so excited for Dunkirk, mostly because I'm a history major, and also Christopher Nolan looks so good.
So that I think will probably be the highest grossing film on this whole new IP list is Dunkirk because it looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably that one will be. Maybe Dark Tower would get close to it. Which is
next. It's close.
It's close. We'll talk about that.
So the Dark Tower. I mean, do you want to talk more about Dunkirk?
We can talk. Yeah. Well, I mean, people. I don't know if you guys know what Dunkirk is. It's essentially a World War II movie, but it's different because it's not like a battle. It's an escape. It's like 400,000 men need to escape the Nazi blitzkrieg at the beginning of the war, and so it's escape.
That's Matt Hardy's in that.
Yeah, well, isn't Tom Hardy in it?
Oh, maybe it was Tom Hardy.
I think Tom Hardy is in it, and then Scarecrow from Batman Begins. I can't remember his name. He's in so many things. He's in Inception as well. He's like the dude.
So Tom Hardy is the actor. Matt Hardy is the kid I went to high school with.
Nobody look him up on Facebook right now.
Oh, that's funny. Valerian in the City of 1,000 Planets.
Didn't that just come out too? I think that
is that out
this weekend.
I don't know if that's out yet.
I can't remember. I remember reading that something flopped.
I don't know. It looks awful. It looks like it's one of those things that this is a Marvel. It's a comic.
It looks like John Carter. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Like a Disney Marvel movie, like before Disney owned Marvel.
Yeah,
right. When they're trying to compete. So I don't. If you're looking for new IP, see what I'm seeing with this list is they're just not very good new IP coming out.
Nothing exciting, and we talk about the same thing with video games, don't we? And we've talked before about how like Horizon Zero Dawn was so awesome because it was a new IP. Like we haven't had a new
like Overwatch.
Yeah, or Overwatch is new, whereas almost everything else seems to be sequels.
Yeah, sequelized. What else I have? I have Atomic Blonde, which is the Charlize Theron's version of John Wick, which I've seen a trailer for, but that doesn't really light a fire under me. The Emoji Movie is probably, I think, the only animated movie I have on this list. I doubt that's going to garner any interest other than the fact that it's just a movie based on emojis.
That, I mean, to me, it looks like that one movie. What was it? The aliens invaded, and Pac-Man was in it, and
Pixels.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler.
The Pixel movie.
Or are you talking about that Pac-Man scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
No, that was hilarious. I'm talking about the one that flopped.
Yeah, Pixels.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
The Dark Tower. I don't know anything about Stephen King.
So Dark Tower is one of Stephen King's series of books. I would say it's one of his most popular series of books. And so I'm really excited for this. However, I do admit that Stephen King movies have ups and downs. Stephen King likes to use independent directors and different directors for his movies, and so sometimes they flop really bad, and they have before, and sometimes they do really well. Like The Shining did really well.
Oh, The Shining's so good.
And so
also kind of really weird.
Also super weird.
The Shining's a classic, but if it came out today, nobody would like that movie.
Oh, right.
That movie is crazy.
Well, and the reason it was so weird is because he had some indie director do it that hadn't done anything yet, I think.
I want to look at that. Why don't you read the next one on my list?
Okay.
It's the last one. You might not know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it, though. So
you saw a trailer for it.
I can read it.
I was there with you.
The Hitman's Bodyguard, Ryan Reynolds, and Samuel L. Jackson.
Why? I looked up The Shining, and it didn't show up on IMDb. What the heck? The Shining. Okay, so The Hitman's Bodyguard is a... it's kind of a parody of The Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard?
You dig?
I have not seen The Bodyguard.
It's the old one. The I Will Always Love You song came from that. I can't remember the gosh, I'm having a brain fart right now. Stanley Kubrick directed The Shining.
Yeah, I take everything I said back.
Okay, so The Hitman's Bodyguard, I have it on here because it's a comedy. It's a parody of The Bodyguard from the 80s with, I can't remember her name. Anyway, Ryan Reynolds is in it with Samuel L. Jackson. So that's why I put it on here, because it will be kind of popular. I assume. I mean, I don't
because of the stars.
I don't think it's gonna light the world on fire. It's a parody.
Mm-hmm.
But of the new IP, this is one of them that I think will do well. So what I'm finding from this list is there's not really a lot of good stuff.
Right, and then let's compare that list, right,
to the sequels, right? Yeah.
Fate of the Furious,
which was the highest grossing film in the first opening weekend.
Yeah, it was. I saw Rotten Tomatoes had like 68%.
68%?
Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw it. I'll look it up just to be sure.
That one is kind of
But I looked at a bunch of things on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out, and that also sucked in a whole bunch of money. I don't know if it was necessarily worth it. I don't know if it... I think it got more money than maybe it deserved. Maybe I'm just cynical.
There's a 56% on Metacritic, a 7.2 on IMDb, and then Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 67. Fate of the Furious, everyone. Guardians of the Galaxy did very poorly, too, on ratings.
Yeah.
But both of them sucked in so much money.
Yeah.
They're sequels.
That's true. Alien Covenant is like the 17th Alien movie, which also bombed.
I think it's like 7th, but okay.
Yeah, 17th.
Not 10th. 7th.
Transformers 5 has not... See, these movies haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
But Transformers 5 will probably get a lot of money.
Because it's Michael Bay.
And my wife wants to go see it. She's like, we gotta go see this. She didn't want to see Transformers 4. I dragged her to that because I thought it was cool because of the Dinobots.
Yeah.
And she's like, I hated this. I don't ever want to go see another one. And then we saw this in theaters. She's like, we have to go see that.
That's kind of how Transformers works. It's like, nobody wants to go see it, but you just go see it.
Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Caribbean? Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've always said Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's definitely Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, that's how we say Caribbean. Like, how else do you say Caribbean?
How do they say it in the movie? Do they say it? I don't think they say it.
I don't know if they ever say Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. So number 5 in the Jack Sparrow films.
Yep.
It's coming out.
Will Turner's back, not Will Smith.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom. This will get money. Obviously, I think all these sequels have a higher chance of getting money than any of the other new IPs. I think that's just the sequel.
Yeah, I mean, other than Dunkirk, I think all of these. Wonder Woman will probably make a lot of money. Again, Batman v Superman made a ton of money, even though we didn't like it. So I think Wonder Woman will make a lot of money. I think Dunkirk will make a lot of money in the new IPs, but I don't think...
There's nothing... The Dark Tower maybe, but not really.
But maybe not even that.
It's just one of those things where, like, why would you... You're taking a chance on a film that you know nothing about, essentially, whereas these sequels, you're like, okay, I know the characters, right. I know all this stuff.
And the producing companies know, right? Like, it's already had success, build on their success, as opposed to starting something fresh.
Baywatch, we moved up here. I think it looks funny. I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
I like The Rock. I like Zac Efron. Zac Efron is ripped. Have you seen a picture of him?
Yeah, dude. He's working out.
No.
Yeah.
He's like... I don't have a joke. I'm sorry. He's ripped.
I was waiting for it. I saw your brain working, but it just farted. It didn't have anything.
Nothing happened.
So Baywatch, again, I think it's like a Redbox movie if you're bored on a weekend and someone comes over. You're like, what do you want to watch? Like, okay, Baywatch. The Mummy looks really, really, really dumb, in my opinion. Yeah. Because the Mummy series, to me, I equate with Brendan Fraser, and like it was always like slightly scary. Like as a kid, it was slightly scary just because like
they had the beetles climb up in your skin. Oh.
But it was always funny too. Like it was almost like comedic.
There was some humor.
And this looks like no humor whatsoever. It was so serious. I hated it. I was like, this is stupid. Also, you don't need to reboot the series, please. Thank you.
Nobody wants a mummy.
Nobody
Cars
wants
3.
another Mummy.
Have you seen all the trailers for Cars 3?
Yeah.
And all the crashes? They show his crash every single time.
Yeah, and they're like, everything changes.
There's a big internet hubbub about the fact that they keep showing his crash. About how they're like trying to make it like... Or how they have made it like sad and kind of terrifying and like... Well, I mean, if you think about it from a kid's point of view, like... Lightning McQueen is like... It's a character to them or like a person to them.
Right.
And this is like a near-death crash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it deals with like... themes of like loss
and
disability and grief and things like that. When Cars 3 is coming out, I assume will probably be the highest grossing animated film of the year.
Yeah.
I don't remember what else came out.
Despicable Me 3 is coming out.
Despicable Me 3 is coming out, but I don't think... Ugh. Minions. More Minions. Despicable Me is where the Minions originated.
You know, Minions are really just a different version of Jawas. They don't make any sense. The way they speak. It's really what I'm talking about. Like, like you could put them in each other's universe and they'd be okay. Okay, let's just scratch everything I just said and move on.
War for the Planet of the Apes. This is the
last, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Of the new
but I don't know
trilogy.
if it is. I haven't seen any of the Planet of the Apes.
I've seen all of them, but I bought them all in like DVD in the $5 bin. Yeah. So I don't think I've seen any of these in theaters.
James Franco in the first one?
Yeah, I mean...
I haven't seen any of these, and I don't necessarily care to.
Again,
I hear they're good, but...
I don't know. I feel like if you're not invested in one of these franchises, what's the point?
Maybe that's...
switching over to a new one.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem with the sequels. Maybe that's what article is trying to get down to, is that, like...
They're tribes, right? They're like tribes following each type of movie, and you're only part of a certain amount of tribes, and then...
Mm-hmm. So, like, the Annabelle Creation, which is a sequel to The Conjuring, or a prequel or whatever, it's the same thing. Yeah. I watched The Conjuring. There's a second one after that I didn't watch. I don't care for horror films.
Yeah, I don't generally go see them.
And it's Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah. So, I guess only 2 are Marvel/superhero films, unless you want to count Transformers as a superhero or Pirates of the Caribbean as a superhero. I want to count Pirates.
Transformers. If we count them as like Disney movies, then we've got...
Oh, you're counting as like Disney as a producer?
As Disney. So we got Guardians, Pirates, Cars, Despicable Me is DreamWorks, isn't it? Yeah. And Spider-Man. So there's 4 Disney movies in sequels list.
Yeah, but Disney's always been churning out
blockbusters. I mean, with Guardians 2... Marvel had its like 15th in a row opening weekend where they dominated. Yeah, I read some article about it. It was like their 15th straight release that was at the top of the box office its opening week, and that's like normal now, right? I don't know.
Yeah, Marvel or Disney is just always
like Beauty and the Beast when that came out. Live action Beauty and the Beast, everybody flipped out.
I'm trying to find out where the Planet of the Apes comes from.
I mean, there was the 60s version and 70s version.
No, like who owns it?
Oh, okay. Which producing company?
20th Century Fox. So Fox. So not Disney.
Not Disney.
So I was thinking maybe. Disney owns some things that you won't think about. They owned Miramax Films.
They also
back
own
in the old days.
The History Channel and the Discovery Channel.
ESPN.
So
did we come to a conclusion?
I think...
The question was, are sequels ruining the summer blockbusters? The conclusion I came to is no.
So here's the thing.
The new IPs suck.
They need to, but do new IPs suck because they're pouring all of their resources and time into sequels? Is that the reason why? Because their best minds are working on sequels as opposed to new IPs?
I don't know. Like, the director for The Fate of the Furious, I don't know his name off the top of my head. Guardians was James Gunn. Spider-Man, I don't know. War of the Planet of the Apes, I don't know. I just looked at it. Pirates, Transformers is Michael Bay. Mm-hmm. Baby Driver is Edgar Wright, who was a fantastic filmmaker. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman is, I don't know.
Dunkirk is
Christopher Nolan. So maybe there's, of what I have on the list, I can name equivalent directors and producers on each side. Mm-hmm. Well, where's everybody else?
Well, and we haven't even addressed. There's another point in the article that talked about TV getting better, and streaming services getting better.
Oh yeah, they did.
And like think of like all the original series on Netflix and how all these TV shows are pressing the boundaries of like storytelling, like what's appropriate or what's storytelling, like new stories that you've never heard of before. Like think like Orange Is the New Black.
Have you watched that?
Women's Prison. Yeah, I've watched a lot of it.
Is it good?
Yeah, I mean I like it generally.
I haven't watched it at all.
So some people argue that TV is sucking up a lot of the really good writers, and so, but I would say that I think TV shows are more about writers and movies are more about directors as like the important person, because I think the director has a lot more influence on the movie than a director does on a TV show.
Maybe. The Russo brothers directed.
Not that I know.
The Russo brothers directed Community. Josh Whedon directed Firefly.
Dude, Firefly's so good.
And Firefly is super good, and Josh Whedon was directing it.
Yeah.
So maybe directors have a lot of impact.
They might. Maybe that's not right. Either way, it is interesting to think though that about like talent pool and how much the increase in TV shows and streaming and how everybody likes to binge watch shows, like how much pressure there is there, and then how many people want to go to the movies when they could go home and watch Netflix as a viable option to going to the movies.
Let's go through the list one more time, and then we'll be done. Okay. New IP and then sequels. You say yes or no. Would you be willing to go see this in theaters?
Okay.
King Arthur.
Yes.
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
All Eyes on Me.
Nope.
Baby Driver.
Nope.
Dunkirk.
Yes.
Valerian and the City of blah blah blah.
Willing, yes. Probably not.
Atomic Blonde.
Nope.
The Emoji Movie.
Nope.
The Dark Tower.
Yes.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
If you wanted to go.
Sequels. Fate of the Furious.
Yes.
Guardians 2.
Yes.
Alien Covenant.
Yes.
Transformers 5.
Yes.
Pirates of 5.
Yes.
Pirates of the 5.
Pirates 5, yes.
Baywatch.
No.
The Mummy.
Here's the thing. I go to movies all the time, so yes. Even though I just trashed that movie, I would probably still go see it.
Cars 3.
Yes.
Despicable Me 3.
Yes.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Annabelle.
No, not War of the Planet of the Apes.
Annabelle. Creation.
No.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Definitely yes.
If you would have said no, I would have kicked you right out of my house.
Dude, I'm sorry. But
so you said yes to more sequels than new IP.
Slightly more. And also know that out of all those movies, I still, the ones that I want to see really badly, you asked, would you go see this? And there are a lot of times where I just want to go to the movies and I don't care what I watch. I just want to like sit in the theater and be entertained and eat popcorn.
That's where you get the popcorn, the best popcorn.
Right. So sometimes that's why I go to the movies, so not necessarily to see something. So yeah, I said yes to like Despicable Me 3 because I'll probably go with Kinsey, you know, or whatever.
I think we should watch Baby Driver. We need to watch Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, we said we were going to do that and we still have not done it. We're the worst.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Eventually. Don't worry about it. Believe us. It'll happen.
We're still thinking about it. We're waiting for it to come out on VHS and video near you.
Yeah, VHS. Blockbuster. No. We're waiting for it to go to Blockbuster so we can go rent it.
This podcast has been going long enough.
We're done.
Thanks for listening.
Do the outro.
Find us on Twitter at UP Gamers Podcast. Email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube at Underpaid Gamers. I think I'm missing something. We have underpaidgamers.com. Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, podcast. If you're listening this far, you know where to find a podcast. Also, there's the YouTube videos. Oh, listeners. The last YouTube video I uploaded, I had random gameplay in the background because I was told that people like to watch things when they listen to us. So I'm going to keep doing that. Tell me what you think, listeners. Say yay or nay to whether you just want random, because the last episode we did was on Guardians 2. And I just put gameplay of me playing Smite and gameplay of me playing Infamous First Light. It had nothing to do with the podcast.
Absolutely nothing.
But
it was something to watch.
Yeah.
That's it.
But some people say that that's better than just the static screen for their logos. So listener,
let us know.
Let us know. Thanks.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.